The annual War Games of the Philippines and the U.S. on Monday, May 6, simulated the foiling of a foreign invasion attempt on the shores of Ilocos Norte, the northernmost mainland province near Taiwan. Some 200 personnel conducted a live fire exercise at the La Paz sand dunes using the U.S. Marines' autonomous truck-mounted howitzer system, 155mm self-propelled guns, and the Philippine military's M101 105mm Taud howitzers, as well as similar U.S. assets. These assets were used to sink 5 floating targets, serving as mock amphibious assault vehicles to prevent them from approaching the shores. On Wednesday, May 8, the former BRP Lake Caliraya will be used as a mock target during Manila and Washington's sinking exercise off Lawag Town in the West Philippine Sea. These activities are part of the ongoing Balikatan exercise, joined by over 16,000 troops from both the Philippines and the U.S. The exercise will last until May 10. The conduct of such drills in relatively close proximity to Taiwan did not sit well with China, which deemed the activities as provocations. Taiwan is a self-ruled island nation seen by Beijing as a renegade province subject to reunification. A Philippine Coast Guard official is accusing the Embassy of China in the Philippines of being constant liars. This comes after the Chinese embassy in Manila said a supposed new model aiming to manage tensions in Ayungin Shoal was allegedly approved by the Department of National Defense officials and the National Security Advisor. Both Defense Secretary Gibot Yodoro and National Security Advisor Eduardo Año have denied this. According to PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Commodore J. Tarriela, the public should just stop paying attention to claims released by the Chinese embassy regarding the West Philippine Sea, as it only seeks to dissuade public opinion to their advantage. Tarriela notes that Beijing, in its latest claim, is merely trying to justify its recent water cannon attack in Scarborough Shoal by disseminating what he calls lies. The China Coast Guard's water cannon attack on April 30 damaged Philippine vessels, bringing supplies to Filipino fishermen in Scarborough Shoal. Tarriela also cites China's previous claims, including the supposed gentleman's agreement between Beijing and former President Rodrigo Duterte, which he notes to have surfaced right after a water cannon incident in Ayungin Shoal. 2 China Coast Guard water cannon attacks were reported on March 5 and March 23 this year, where a total of 7 Philippine Navy personnel were wounded. Both incidents involved the Philippine boats on their way to resupply troops manning the grounded BRP Sierra Madre at Ayungin Shoal. China continues to reject a 2016 arbitral ruling effectively invalidating Beijing's claims over almost the entire South China Sea, including the West Philippine Sea. President Bongbong Marcos merely laughs off drug use allegations hurled against him, as claimed by a leaked document supposedly from the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. Alleged PDEA files linking Marcos to drug use circulated online, with Senator Bato de la Rosa saying these documents are not fabricated. Sought for comment in an ambush interview in Pasay City, Marcos brushed off the question with a laugh. Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, who was with the president during the interview, simply called the allegation contrived.
12 daw po, Mr. President.
Contrived.
The Senate panel on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, chaired by De La Rosa, is currently investigating the alleged leaked documents. During the panel's hearing on April 30, PDEA Director General Moro Virgilio Lazo categorically stated that the documents were fake. However, former PDEA investigation agent Jonathan Morales stood firm that the leaked documents linking Marcos to illegal drugs were authentic. Supporters of President Bongbong Marcos, who deem themselves as loyalists, gather outside the Senate complex on Monday, May 6, urging the administration to cooperate with the International Criminal Court and allow the entry of its probers in the Philippines. Jean Diaz, a Marcos supporter since 1986, says an estimated 300 loyalists have participated in the rally. She says the protest was held because they believe former President Rodrigo Duterte's actions are no longer acceptable. Diaz was pertaining to Duterte's drug allegations against Marcos, as well as the former chief executive's supposed gentleman's agreement with China.
Talaga ito nalaman namin. Yan sa ginagawa ng Duterte, ang nakandang Duterte. Hindi nakarapat-dapat way na nakatagot na dapat talaga mananiragan kami sa ating Pangulo. PDEA, papasukin mo ng ICC para manahimik na, magkaroon ng katahimikan ang ating bansa. Ang mga Duterte kahaman sa kapangyarihan. Harap-harap ako ito sinasabi to. Magkahaman sa kapangyarihan na Duterte, dapat siyang panagutin sa mga ginawa niya ng administrasyon niya. Napakaraming namatay, napawian ng buhay.
Marcos has repeatedly stated that his administration will not lift a finger to help the ICC in conducting its probe on the alleged rights abuse during Duterte's brutal drug campaign. Notwithstanding this, Diaz says it is high time to allow ICC in the Philippines.
Dahil ang Duterte ngayon ang naninira, pilit na sinisira ka, pilit na sinisira ang administrasyon, pilit na pinababagsak ang ating bansa. Wala silang pagmamahal sa ating bansa, sarili lamang nila kanilang iisip.
Duterte is facing a crimes against humanity case before the ICC in connection with the bloody war on drugs during his administration. In March 2018, Duterte declared the country's withdrawal from the Rome Statute, or the treaty which established the ICC. The withdrawal took effect a year later in March 2019. Despite this, the ICC retained jurisdiction over alleged crimes in the Philippines from November 1, 2011 to March 16, 2019, while the country was still a state party. Local oil companies will slash pump prices by up to a peso per liter for the second straight week effective Tuesday, May 7. In separate advisories, firms announced the price of gasoline would go down by 75 centavos per liter and diesel by 90 centavos per liter. Meanwhile, kerosene prices will decrease by 1 peso and 5 centavos per liter. Clean Fuel will be the first to implement the pump price rollback on Tuesday at 12:01 a.m., while Shell Pilipinas and Sea Oil will follow at 6 a.m. Department of Energy's Oil Industry Management Bureau Director Rodela Romero said last week that experts expect a rollback in pump price because of various global events, such as the expectations of an Israel-Gaza ceasefire, uncertainties about the Federal Reserve slashing its interest rates, and rising oil inventory of the United States. This week's downward adjustment is greater than last Tuesday's price drop in petroleum products. On April 30, gasoline prices dropped by 25 centavos per liter, diesel by 45 centavos per liter, and kerosene by 90 centavos per liter.